The world's getting crazy, sit back and take it easy. My mind is getting hazy, I do it on the daily. Social distancing, thank you all for listening. Turn that frown upside down, I can't go to the playground. Stuck inside but I'm getting by, got to make the most of it. And the fear the end's not near, life's a roller coaster. So enjoy the ride.
Hello, and thank you for listening. As always, I'm your host, JJ. Today we got my buddy Jordan calling in, and then my buddy Shayne calling all the way from Vancouver. We also have a 4-song playlist that I've been doing, so check it out in the playlist tab. Will be linked under the video as well. Also, we're now on Apple Podcasts, so go ahead and search JJ's Garage into Apple Podcasts, see if you can find it. And if you don't have an Apple device, jjsgarage.podbean.com in case you want to, close your video. Maybe you're doing laundry, maybe you're cooking dinner, and you want the audio version only where you can have your phone in lock mode. So go ahead, check those out. And as always, we're microwaving stuff. Got my buddy Steve coming by. He's advised me to take the microwaving stuff outside, so might microwave some batteries, maybe make something blow up. Kind of had a couple duds on microwaving stuff lately, so hopefully get some action today. Well, my first guest is Jordan from my rugby team, good buddy of mine, calling in to just discuss how you're staying busy. So please give it up for my man, Jordan. I'm getting some weird fucking...
Maybe my phone, I don't know, man.
Whatever, we'll go with it. It's not like it's high production anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just fire it up right there. Hey man, thanks for joining me on the show.
Yeah, man, no worries. Thanks for having me on your big time podcast.
Yeah, big time is right. So right before we went live, we were saying what, Tiger King and Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yeah, some new Netflix. Well, not new, but they've been around, especially Don't Fuck with Cats. But I recently just watched both series, and I couldn't get enough of either of them. Man, they were awesome.
Okay, so Don't Fuck with Cats is kind of a story of some... So first of all, what do they watch? Just some YouTube channel has some jerk like doing some like vacuum sealing cats and putting them in the freezer or something super crazy, right?
Yeah, he did that, and then he also like did some weird things with like he lit them on fire, and I think he even drowned a couple. But like that stuff obviously was just twisted and like not cool, but just the whole story for me of like how these two people just kind of tracked him down through social media and just spent hours of their time on it, like hundreds of hours probably. Like it was a long drawn out investigation with a dog, and he was just an absolute nutball, man. Like you could see why he did it. Like I don't know how familiar you are with it, but
all right. So some guy or some girl, I should say, finds the guy on YouTube, and she's obviously a cat lover, like everybody is, like myself included.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what? On the internet, you can't be hurting cats, which I guess is where the series name Don't Fuck with Cats comes from. Is that still on Netflix?
Yeah.
Do you watch that lately?
I just watched it maybe a week ago, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay, yeah, it's been a few months since I've seen it, so I was wondering if it was even still up on Netflix.
It's definitely still on. It's definitely still on.
And then, so they kind of look at like what blankets he's using and what countries sell that, and like what vacuum cleaners in the background, and somehow they kind of link it to another YouTube channel, and they find out exactly where he lives. These are just like a group of people on Facebook community.
Yeah, but like the guy who they're tracking down, he's like this weirdo like prima donna dude.
Right.
Who just like he just like creates all these like fake like fan clubs for himself.
So they actually find the guy.
They find the guy, and like he goes to jail, and like honestly I don't ever know what happened. Like he definitely went to jail. Like in the end he ends up killing a guy. Like he murders a guy, he moves on from cats.
Right, so that's one thing. You kill animals, you're gonna eventually move on to people.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure, dude. And like I think he even sent like a hand to like Trudeau. Like he like nailed the guy's hand to Trudeau, and it was And then that's when it hit like the news, right? Like that was a big thing a few years ago. I can't remember exactly the year, but I remember hearing about it for sure. And then
Yeah, it was 5 years ago. It was before it's before the Trudeau government was in power. I think it was the Conservative government was in power, or whatever.
Oh, okay, is that what it was?
And but still, the Trudeau, both of those government offices got like hands and feet mailed to them.
Yeah, pretty dark stuff, man.
Now, this Facebook group, if I remember it right, knew the guy's address, and he was living in Montreal or something, so kind of a funny little Canadian tie-in. Whereas these people, this Facebook group, the girl was from like Las Vegas or something. She worked in a Las Vegas hotel room, and
that's right.
And they've even talked to like a reporter from the BBC when this guy was hiding out in England. And they sent the BBC reporter after this. So this Facebook group found and exposed this guy before he even murdered a person, which they're like, they say to the police, hey, this guy's going to go out and murder an actual person. Which, I mean, kind of he later does, which totally spoils the show for anybody that hasn't seen it, but...
not too bad.
And then they kind of... But then the way that he actually ends up getting caught is he kills the person, and then he takes his body out in a couple garbage bags and just throws him in the dumpster out back of his apartment building.
Yeah, like he spent basically an entire night just making trips back to just hauling trips of like, I don't know, he's loading up like garbage bags, just trip after trip. They have them all on video doing this, and I mean, like, he spent some time on it, man. Like, the guy was something else.
I just feel like if he would have snuck it out of his apartment building in a better way, maybe not just garbage bags and throw them in the dumpster out back where they find the body in these bags, and then they look at the film, and this guy's carrying... So they kind of had him right there. If he was a little less sloppy, he probably could have got away with it.
But the thing is, it was almost like he like almost wanted to get caught, though. Like, just how he was leaving little breadcrumbs. Like, whenever the story would fizzle down, especially with the cats, it would fizzle down for a few months, and then he would post another video. So it was like... You know, you never know what's going on in somebody's head. Like, it's like almost like he wanted to get caught.
Yeah, and he was pretty clearly trying to be like an Instagram model, and he was trying to be famous, I guess. Anyway,
he's definitely about that life for sure.
And he made a bunch of his own Facebook profiles so that he could like his pictures, so that his pictures would have likes.
Like hundreds of them, and he would just comment on his own pages and like. Just boosting his own, I don't know. It was just strange, dude.
Right. So how this all started, I asked you before we got on air what shows you were watching on Netflix. And what was the other...
Tiger King, man.
Tiger King.
What a life, eh? Like that whole community, man.
Man, this Tiger King is taking the world by storm.
Oh, man, it's pretty gangster the stuff they did, though, man. Like, there was just no rules, man. Like, it really, you're right, though. It took off on its own. Like, you look on your phone right now. I don't know if I don't think you're too big into social media. I know you have Facebook and all that, but anytime you open Instagram, it's just memes of Joe Exotic.
Yeah, you know what? I've actually, I turned off my Facebook. I go on Facebook for 15 minutes every other day, and I have to limit myself to that, or else, because with all this downtime, the first couple weeks, my phone was saying, hey, I have a weekly update. It tells me how many hours on my phone I've been spending each week. And I was up to like 4. It was like your weekly screen time report, 4 hours and 30 minutes average this week. So I was like, okay.
Oof, yeah, that's a little high.
Added to the time I spend on the computer, time I spend playing video games, it kind of gets out of hand. I mean, a lot of that lately, I guess, I've been downloading a lot of music on Apple, so I've been listening to music, which that adds to that 4 hours. So the numbers aren't quite that high, but I could just scroll through Facebook and Instagram and whatever, so I just go on Snapchat.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Like, screen time's definitely, especially, like you said, like right now, I'm guilty of it too. Like, sometimes I just look at Facebook just to like look at it and see who's online and all that stupid stuff. So
Even before it was bad. Like, even before it's unhealthy to be on Facebook and that kind of stuff to begin with.
Yeah. That's the one. Like, that's the one nice thing about radio. Well, it's not nice. I mean, times suck right now. There's no doubt about it. But like, it's just like the amount of like hikes and stuff I've gone on with my dog and stuff. Like,
yeah,
like that's been kind of nice, honestly. Just getting out and about, and trying different things. I don't know, man. It's just hard to just sit inside and stare at a TV all night after work and stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm not much of a guy for TV. I mean, more video games or kind of trying to get the audio quality on these podcasts is getting better. Oh, yeah. Also, we're on, because we have iPhone.
Yeah.
I just got in the Apple Podcasts today.
Oh, right on. Man. I just got up in the world.
Yeah, just got approved for that. So this might be, this will be the second episode going in on the actual podcast button on your Apple.
Sick, buddy. It's funny, man. I've been like I said talking to you earlier. I was I've been like scrolling through your podcasts, like the ones you've been posting and stuff. And I'm not listening to the whole things, but like scrolling through it, and there's some pretty funny stuff. And like obviously, the best part is when you just throw things in the microwave and see what happens.
Yeah. So at the end of this one, I have Malosh coming over tonight. I have a little setup in the backyard so we can keep our social distancing, and he's sanitized down a couple batteries.
Oh man, that's awesome, dude.
And he recommends I don't microwave them in my garage. So
I think anybody would recommend that.
So we'll have the fire extinguisher going outside, and so stay tuned for after this episode, because hopefully we'll get blow some stuff up. I did another one recently, and sometimes it's a dud. Like, I had a beer can in the microwave for an hour, and nothing happened.
Yeah, really. So I know that the WD-40 can, it was a bit of a bust. I remember being pretty stoked for that.
Yeah, so with things like that, I'm pretty sure they make a pressure release valve built into those things on purpose, so that if the pressure builds inside, then the thing just oozes out, and then that catches fire. To actually get something to explode, I heard through a friend of a friend that an Axe can, like Axe body spray, would blow up pretty good.
I could see that shit being super explosive. Like, that stuff is lethal.
So maybe there's a couple things I've yet to try, but I still need more suggestions.
And I was trying to think. It's like the what was it? The forks and stuff you put in, those lit up pretty good, was it? Or the light bulb? The light bulb was a good one too, I think.
Yeah, light bulb was good. Some things I would have expected a way big. Like, I thought tin foil was going to react way better. I thought that some of those knives and forks, or a spoon. I thought a spoon would light up. A spoon didn't go that crazy.
Yeah. My favorite part of one of the podcasts is right at the end. You're like, yep. All right, well, stay tuned. I'm gonna throw a can of WD-40 in the microwave and see what happens. Heard that, and I just died laughing, man. That was hilarious. But again, it was a bit of a dud.
Yeah, there was still fire, and I mean, most of it's gonna be dud, I guess. My buddy told me this morning, who's been watching the show, to do grapes. Put grapes in there.
Grape. You just get all mushy or what?
No, they light up. He said they light up, and it's a cool science experiment. So,
oh wow,
I'd have to try it. I don't know why they would light up. Maybe there's metal in the grapes or something. But I mean, even the podcast is kind of without sports, without a lot of stuff. It's very hard to have something interesting to talk about. You know?
Yeah, especially because I know when you were doing this before too, like a big part of it was sports, right? Like, you're a big sports guy, I'm a big sports guy. There's a lot of sports people out there, right? I mean, it's easy talk, like, especially when it's like an interest of yourself, right? So times are definitely not so great for that, right?
Yeah, especially in our little friend circle. Basically, we all know each other through rugby or high school sports and stuff. We're all in the same fantasy football.
Yeah, the old fantasy football league, yeah.
Leagues and stuff.
Just not having it right now, man. It's like, we were talking earlier again, like it was just there's never nothing going on. Like you'd always just get together and watch a sports game, you know, like Sunday night football, Monday night football, like baseball, like anything is. It's a little shitty right now for that for sure, especially since like I mean, I'm a big basketball guy too, and like the Raptors were looking pretty good this year. Like they might have even been able to win it again. So it's like they're not going to have that chance, I don't think.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the '94 Expos were in first place. In Montreal, right. And then the season shut down, and and so they didn't even have a chance to win the World Series or anything.
That's right. Yeah, that was a little bit before my time, but I don't remember watching it. I definitely remember the story of the Expos getting kind of hosed at the end out of a World Series.
Yeah, and back then I think only like 4 teams made playoffs or something, whereas now I think they do the play-in game.
Yeah, the wild card game, yeah.
And then
there's
8 teams.
I should know this.
Well, what it is it's 3 teams from each one, right? And then a wild card team, and then a wild card playoff game for that wild card team. So you're looking at 10 teams or something there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. And those wild card games, man, I know you're not like the biggest baseball guy, but man, wild card baseball games are intense.
You know what? I am kind of as I've been growing older, I've become more and more of a baseball guy.
Oh yeah, nice. It's not for everyone, that's for sure.
And I've kind of been flowing out of basketball. I mean, basketball, and I think I talked about this on the last show. It's just so commercially, and so players are on different teams, and so American. It's kind of even the NFL. Like I'm a huge football fan.
Yeah.
Huge football fan. And all it seems like is commercials, especially now that on Netflix and all the streaming sites, you don't have to deal with commercials anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watch Red Zone on Sundays, so there's no commercials in that. And then I go to watch playoff football and it's commercials. It's like supposed to be the most exciting football of the year. Patriots versus Titans, kind of. Oh my God, huge playoff football.
Yeah.
And the commercials just ruin the flow. So that's why I'm always amping, and this is an unpopular opinion of mine, is soccer, European soccer, huge in the Premier League and Champions League. And then rugby, international rugby, and I have DAZN. So rugby's been wicked too, because there's no commercials. They do a halftime break, maybe throw a couple commercials on at halftime. But other than that, from beginning to end whistle, they don't do commercials during the sport itself, right?
Okay, yeah. But, yeah, honestly, I don't watch a whole lot of rugby. Like, I mean, I enjoy watching it, going down for sevens and all that, and like watching it live. It's fun, but I never really get too into it. I don't really follow it, but that's like it's pretty sweet. I mean, like you're totally right about the football league and just being like it's all just a money grab, right? It's just so Americanized. Like they even have those little miniature commercials. You ever notice those this last year? Where it's just like a bottom of the screen, just like an ad. Like, what? Like, get out of there.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
Not to mention the advertising on the jerseys. The stadiums are all advertised. It's just become such big, and I guess maybe the NFL was like this from the beginning, just big American corporate bullcrap, right?
Yeah, for sure. I hear you, man.
And so maybe some other sports are a little more in tune with their fans. I just try and think of sports where the players don't change every year. That's why international rugby and international soccer, because you can't just change where you're from.
Yeah, basketball. There's guys switching teams every year, man. It's crazy the stuff that goes on in basketball. Baseball, same thing. Not a big hockey guy. I don't really know much about hockey, but I would imagine it's probably the same, close to the same.
You know what? I love baseball. There's just something about baseball that I just love about which is, and I'm sure I'm just repeating myself from the last couple episodes, but I go to that Blue Jays series in Seattle every year.
Oh, yeah, I've done that a few times for sure.
And we just got our email saying our reservation at our hostel is canceled.
Oh, man.
Which was going to happen in July, like end of July. I think it was July 20th, 23rd, 24th, 25th or something. So
right, yeah.
So who knows what's going to go on there anyway? But that's canceled. So
that's a fun weekend, man. That's always a blast. Like Canada just takes over Seattle. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, and we do it a little bit more fiscally responsible.
Yeah, that's fair.
With staying at the hostel, we get 4 people and we rent out a hostel room, or
right.
often we get 8 or 12 people and rent out 2 or 3 hostel rooms. And it's just bunk beds in there. You kind of communal showers on the floor, but you're not staying with any weird person because you rent out the whole room for your you and 3 buddies. So it's more of a hotel feel than a hostel feel. And then we just spend the whole time out in Seattle. Love going out in Seattle.
Oh man, that's a beauty city. Like I could live in Seattle. I think, other than the traffic sucks, but I could definitely live there.
Yeah, especially because I spend my time there in the summers, which in the winters I'm sure it's rainy like Vancouver. But in the summertime we go down to, I want to say it's called Lake Washington or something, but it's where we were there a couple years ago, and they had an air show. They had the Navy there. They had those jet boat races. You know they're like hydroplanes, maybe they're called. They're like the Formula 1 on the water things. There's those there.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And it's actually a lake, so we were going swimming in it and stuff. Got in right at the beginning and bought my own peanuts outside the stadium, and just you're allowed to bring your own food into that stadium.
Yeah, they charge you an arm and a leg when you're in there.
Yeah, and so I sneak beer in too. I get like a 4... Dick Mickey's, yes, but I've been having success because at like local corner stores, they just sell 40s and not Old English or whatever of actually good beer. Like I brought 2 40s of Corona, and I just put them in my waistband behind my back. Handed the guy my ticket, he beeps it, and I walked right in. So, and I've actually been kicked out for doing that. I've been caught by security, and I've been ejected. I've been ejected from the stadium for the beer, which you're not allowed to bring beer in, but you are allowed to bring food in.
Oh man, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That really sucks about that email you got about the hostel canceling, because I just had the same thing like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
I bought a couple tickets to go see Joe Rogan. Last month, and he's heading down to Vancouver in like a couple weeks, and obviously I knew it was coming, but I officially got the email saying it was canceled, and if I want I can redeem my money, or I can just like wait for if he like returns.
Yeah,
so, like,
that was supposed to be on 420 too.
Yeah, it was gonna be Vancouver on 420. It would have been a wild night, that's for sure. But yeah, that guy's pretty hilarious, man. I'm pretty sure I've watched all of his stand-ups. Like, I listen to his podcast at work. Like, I probably listen to a few podcasts a week at least. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you're a fan, but he's hilarious.
Oh yeah, big fan. You know what? I like the UFC. I love his podcasts. Like his comedy is good, but I mean, not great. I don't listen. I don't like him for his comedy. I like him for his awesome interviews he had. So I was like, I am and was a huge cycling fan. I love the Tour de France for some reason. My uncle was into it, and for some reason, and he got me to tape it. He didn't have a
Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, he didn't have cable or anything, so he gave me some VHS tapes. And at my mom and dad's when I was a kid, I used to videotape the Tour de France for him. And I would give him the tapes, and because of this, I kind of started watching it. I started liking it, and this was right at the start of the Lance Armstrong, the big Lance Armstrong thing. So I remember he was getting caught with cortisone cream and this and that, and I'm defending him, right? I'm at school, and nobody knows cycling, but Lance Armstrong made it pop. I am wearing a Livestrong bracelet as we speak.
Right now.
Yeah, and so I was going to school, and I'm... like, oh no, it's a cortisone cream that he's using. And it turns out he was straight up injecting cortisone into his butt, right?
Full blown. Yeah, he was doing blood thinners and stuff too, I think. I don't know if that's the same thing, but yeah, he was.
Yeah, EPO. So what they do is they.
EPO, that's right. Yeah.
It just amps your red blood cells. And then they take it. And what he was doing was taking his blood out. like weeks prior, taking his blood out, putting it in a centrifuge so that it can separate the red blood cells, and they get rid of everything else, and they re-inject them with the red blood cell. That's called blood doping. So they would kind of do all these sorts of blood swap, and they'll get on the team bus, and they pretend the bus is breaking down on the highway, and they just have like these bags of blood that they're injecting into themselves on a team bus. But they were they had the best doctor, Dr. Ferrari. He was the best doctor at doing all this stuff. So anyway, kind of back to where I was getting at. He was on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I actually just listened to that one. I know it's a few years old, but I just listened to it probably maybe a month ago, so it's still pretty fresh, honestly.
And I wasn't really a fan of Joe Rogan before that, and then...
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, liked the UFC, liked whatever. Wasn't not a fan, wasn't like I don't like him, but never really listened to his podcast or anything. But then I listened to that, and then a few weeks later, he had Jeff Nowitzki, the guy that busted. Yeah,
I listened to that one too.
Right? And to kind of hear the back and forth of Nowitzki and who sounds pretty. They both sound pretty slimy. Like,
oh yeah, especially Lance Armstrong. Like, at least he's admitted it now, but like he swore for years that he wasn't. I mean, he lied to. He gets what he gets, I think, honestly. But at the same time, what I think is shitty about it, it was like everyone in the cycling game was doing it, but because he was number one, like. He was really the only one to take any type of fall or take any type of, like, he lost all his endorsements, he lost Livestrong, he lost millions of dollars, like, he lost so much, like, all his credibility is gone, and like, he was definitely the fall guy, but I mean, that's what you get for being like the face of your sport, right?
Yeah, he there was a girl so he was cycling, one of his cycling teammates, who Lance pressured into also doing drugs. That guy's wife came out and said Lance Armstrong's doing this drug and that drug and make my husband do it. So he sued her. He took her to court, won the court case, and so he was taking her to court and suing her for telling the truth, essentially.
Oh shit.
So crazy. Super crazy. And he still is a little reserved. He still, when asked all these questions, he's still kind of, I still get a feeling of dishonesty, and there's a
little bit, hey, yeah.
There's some points he's not willing to concede on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought, sorry to backtrack again, but what I thought was wild about that podcast was when he was talking about like the European cyclists and what they would do. Like, do you remember this part about when he was saying that they would hold like fishing wire in their mouth and it'd be connected to the car in front of them, and they would hold it in their teeth, and the car would help pull them up hills. Like they were getting up to a lot of crazy like things like to win their races. Like it was getting intense, man. Like so it's either like you don't do steroids, I guess, and just get lapped by the next guy, or you do it like everyone else.
Well, those that weren't doing steroids and weren't doping just weren't in it anymore. So they fell off. Fair. They didn't qualify. They couldn't do it. Fair, so anybody that kind of stuck in it was
doping,
basically. And there's a famous cyclist, Greg LeMond, who's the only American to win the Tour de France. He said that he used to be good in the mountains, kind of like Lance Armstrong, and he was working all summer, and he's ripping up a hill, and some like overweight cyclist that obviously wasn't training that hard ripped by him on the mountain. And he's like, and that's when I knew that the sport was getting crazy, and that's kind of when he ended up dropping out.
Yeah.
You ever seen Icarus on Netflix?
Icarus? No, I think I've flicked through it. I definitely haven't sat down and watched it.
I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It kind of starts out like a cycling documentary and then takes a big right turn down.
Oh yeah.
I won't say any more than that because I actually want you or anybody listening to watch it. But it makes a good right turn. It's pretty awesome.
Another really good one. I think this one's on Amazon Prime. I watched this like a month ago as well, but I can't remember the name of it. It's about the guy who free climbs, who doesn't like clip in when he like free climbs.
Free solo.
Free Solo, man. How have you watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty deadly, eh?
Yeah, there's that, and there's another one called the Dawn Wall, which are basically, they're both Yosemite Park.
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of the same thing, and these two guys go a route that nobody's ever gone up before. Not free climbing. Like, if they fall, they're hooked in. Mm-hmm. But they still make this route that nobody's done before. And then the other one is the guy that's free climbing who's not hooked in, who, if he falls, he dies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or does he have rope? The Free Solo guy doesn't have ropes or anything, right?
No, he has nothing, man. Like, he's got his, like, bag of chalk, and that's it. Like, he's out there, dude. But, like, wow, like, can you imagine, like, your emotions are just up and down for the entire climb like that. Like, how can you stay calm?
Nothing about that appeals to me. I am not meant for
man.
hanging off the side of a friggin' wall.
Yeah, one little mistake and like, all right, well, that's it. Game over.
Yeah.
But hey, man, like, so floats his boat.
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. And then kind of, as we're still talking about sports, the Masters being canceled. They're planning on doing that in November. I don't know if you're a golf fan.
Oh, I love to golf. I'll watch golf on Sundays. I think it's interesting, but yeah, I actually didn't know that. I didn't hear about that.
The Masters is supposed to start Thursday, which is the biggest golf tournament in the year.
Yeah.
And it's, canceled.
Okay, now hear me out for a second. Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah?
don't you think that golf's one sport that you might be able to get away with continuing, you know? Like, because, I mean, they'd still make a lot of money just airing it. Like,
yeah, and that's kind of
I mean?
what they're saying. And Phil Mickelson brought up, Phil Mickelson golfed against Tiger Woods in like this one-off out of season. They're golfing together, kind of.
Yeah.
One round for like $50,000 a hole, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so they're saying, why can't they do that? Why can't
I would sit down and watch that for sure.
They're gonna have these two guys out there, and then all the cameramen for ABC or Fox or whatever it is can just be up in these towers by themselves, not near anybody.
Yeah.
Or even out of the blimp or out of drones and stuff and film it, and then don't touch each other's ball, don't shake hands.
Yeah.
Stay away from each other. And
like obviously they're like, I'm sure the crowd doesn't affect them too much, but like if there wasn't a crowd, I'm sure they're athletes, they've been golfing forever. Like, I don't know, maybe it'd be a little easier too. Like, it might have a little better golf. Like, who knows? But
as a spectator, I might like it more on TV if there wasn't a crowd there. I think it'd be kind of a cool, unique
for sure.
thing. If just these two golfers, maybe they have a robotic caddy, so they don't even have their caddies there. They just have a cart, and then it's just two guys on a golf course. That's it. That would be pretty cool.
I would be into that. I would sit down and watch that for sure.
And they would make money, and the players would make money, and they would give us something to watch for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's tough going right now. There's things to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You only watch on Netflix, right? So.
Yes, that's kind of why I'm watching Netflix. Me and Connor have Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull, or Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
And Transformers, and we're supposed to both watch that this week, and we'll talk about it on Saturday. I'm going to phone him up, and we'll do a kind of a two-movie. So anybody that wants to watch those, they can watch them too, and then maybe hear about what I have to say about it, I guess.
Yeah. Is the Indiana Jones one, is that the one with Shia LaBeouf?
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty... Yeah.
Pretty bad? Yeah, that's kind of...
Yeah, I remember watching it. I don't remember enjoying it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then the Transformers, which all the Transformers suck, but for some reason I remember the first one being good.
I like the first one. That was deadly.
So we're going to watch those and kind of figure out... kind of reassess my opinion on those movies. Yeah, we watched the Fantastic Four on the last one, and oh man, was it bad.
Yeah, that's a bad one too. You should do like a Marvels one or something, man. Like, do some like Avengers, or you should do like Lord of the Rings. If you did a Lord of the Rings, I would be all over that.
You want to hear me talk about Lord of the Rings for a few hours?
Yeah, you do that would be a few hours because it's watch the trilogy and talk about it. I'd be into that.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is good. Lord of the Rings is super awesome. Better than any Star Wars trilogy, I'd say.
Yeah, I loved it. That was a big part of my childhood for sure.
And part of it is they have to be on these streaming services so that people at home can follow along with us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Is Lord of the Rings, do you know if it's on any of the streaming services?
I know there's at least 2 on Netflix, for sure. There may all 3 be, actually. I always see 2. I always see, like, the last 2. But I'm not sure if the first one is.
Nice. All right, buddy. Well, I think Shayne is kind of expecting my call here. And thanks for stopping by. So next time, we'll have you on again here, and we'll get some of your favorite songs and favorite TV shows and stuff. So we'll kind of
for sure.
Give the people something to listen to or watch or whatever. And then, yeah, so tagged at the end of this will be me microwaving or trying to blow something up. So
look forward to it. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, dude.
Yeah, see you later.
Later. All right, so that was my good buddy Jordan Wolf. And now I'm just going to try and call Shayne. I don't know if he gave me his actual phone number. Does this work? This should work.
Yo, bro.
Yo, Shayne, what's up, man?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
Not a lot. So I don't know if I have it recording right now, but I can edit all this out too. So
that's cool, man. I'm ready to rock on the fly. Just wink at me twice if I'm talking about something you can't talk about.
I'm pretty much an open book, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
yeah, man.
And it's not like I do anything too shady that you know about anyway.
Yeah, you're right. You're a pretty clean guy from what I recall of our time together.
That's just how I make it look at the surface. And then I do all my other stuff in a back alley under another pseudonym.
Yes, indeed. I know what you mean.
So what's up, man? Your band still? I guess that's probably all shut down too, hey?
Yeah, we are currently trying to continue recording new music, but obviously no one's playing shows right now. So that's a pretty big damper. But yeah, we still have stuff that we're trying to roll out in terms of music that we really like and that we think other people will enjoy, so we're kind of hunkering down and working on that currently. And yeah, it's a shame, it's a lot of people are going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities this summer regarding like music festivals are going to be a big one. That's like lots of people I know bought Bass Coast tickets.
Yeah.
And it's like now all that's up in the air. And yeah, so it's too bad. But we're still making music.
Where's Bass Coast? What is that?
That's the one in Merritt.
Right.
Yeah, tickets were expensive this year. They were like $400, I think.
And that's shut down?
Not officially yet, but the way everything's going, it seems like it might be, but we'll see.
Is that in August or is that?
I think it's. Oh, I don't know. It's a good question. I think it might be in July. Pretty sure it's in July.
Right, maybe. Who knows, man? Maybe. I think some of these companies will wait to the last second to have to shut those down, I think.
Yeah, like I had tickets for, the band Milky Chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were coming to Orpheum on the 17th of April. The 20th of the Monday after next weekend, or after the 17th. Anyways, they have canceled it, or they've rescheduled it, and they haven't said whether or not they've Like they haven't given the date yet for when it's been rescheduled for, but their other dates are rescheduled. So I'm kind of like, oh, it's too bad. If you had any plans, they all get kind of screwed up.
Yeah, and of course your rugby team beat my rugby team in our most recent matchup.
Yeah, you guys didn't even get to play another game, did you?
Yeah.
Because you guys had a 2-week break.
I'm trying to think if that was our last game. So did we end with a sour taste in our mouths? No, no, because I was playing a lot of Division 3 and I went to Kitsilano, who also beat us. So yeah, double, 2 different divisions, 2 different stomp downs on my most recent resume.
So the third div went out to Kitsilano.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that you guys won that, but you guys lost?
Yeah, they kicked our butts pretty good.
Oh, really?
Probably 5 tries to 3 or 6 tries to 3 kind of thing.
Oh, crazy.
They're good, man. They were really, really good.
Interesting. I haven't played those guys in years, man. I can't even remember the last time. The last time I played them, I broke my collarbone, actually.
Oh, I think I might remember that. And they got that ghetto, like, house on Commercial Street or something.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's out in Kitsilano, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I think it's your clubhouse that's on Commercial Street.
Yeah, we're at the Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then it's a similar kind of street to that, but in Kitsilano. But it's more, I don't know, industrialized and storefronts and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not just like a house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I mean, the Scribes used to have... They had like 2 previous clubhouses before the Legion made an agreement with them, I guess. So they had one out in Surrey, believe it or not. Yeah. It was like the first clubhouse. And so they actually still rent that out to this day. And so it's pretty cool, man, because our dues are really cheap. And then when we went to Kamloops to play you guys, they paid for our hotel rooms, man. Like, it was pretty cool. So... I think they get a lot of spare income from the house that they rent and they own, I guess. And then they moved to a different place that was on Commercial and 14th. And then for whatever reason, that got shut down. And then they were able to relocate to the Legion in that crazy little room upstairs.
Yeah, I like it there, man. Scribes always treats us really good. I mean, I think we even dragged a team along with us, like our ladies team or maybe our other team. We dragged along with us, and the Scribes community still fed everybody and still treated everybody well and crammed everybody into that place. So it's kind of a good rivalry we have going with them right now, especially.
Yeah, dude. Like they are a very social club as well. So it's like that was a big conversation at like the trainings the week before between the leadership group was how were we going to feed 5 teams of people. And the shout out goes to Bill Lillyholm. He's the guy that plays prop, and you probably recognize him, and you probably know him.
He's kind of the main, he's the staple figure kind of guy.
Yeah, he's been a part of that club for ages, and he is always the one who, like, he's the one that typically prepares all the crazy food. And so he had some other help that day for those 5 teams, but he's always preparing food for the club. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, he's good. And he's a tough competitor too. So we're out there kicking the heck out of each other, beating each other's skulls in, and then he makes sure that we're well fed and well drinking up too, you know?
Yeah, it's too bad we didn't, like, you know, rugby is so great for that, obviously. I was just reflecting on that today, actually, how, remember we used to be on the bus on the Broncos, and we'd have to sneak different things onto the bus, and then basically we would be getting in trouble, and there was never any meet up with the football players afterwards or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. And I had played junior lacrosse before playing junior football, because I think you don't start junior football till you're out of high school, till you're 18 or 19 right. or something.
Right.
But you actually start playing junior lacrosse, as you can start as early as 16, I believe. and you play till you're 21 or 22. And I remember on those rides home, we'd have to hide it from the coaches, but everybody would be drinking beer and stuff. So I had been playing that for a few years. And to me, it was just natural to, after games, be drinking beers or whatever. So like, go on the Broncos and I'm on the back and I look around and nobody's drinking beers. And so I pull out my backpack and I just start cracking and slamming beer, which you do after sport, like any sport I play. You know, sometimes I'll crack a beer during if it's baseball or something.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's definitely widespread through a lot of the sports for sure. Yeah, man, it's pretty. It was just like that. Just to bring it back to the rugby, I guess the social aspect of the scribes is like super amazing. Like they're doing like trivia and poker nights and stuff like that during all this isolation. And there was one guy on the team who sent out email to the team, and he's like, if anyone is having trouble buying food or anything, just message me. It'll be dealt with discreetly and with anonymity. Excuse me. And he, like, you know, he does really well for himself. He's a lawyer, and it's funny because you hang out with him. You hang out with him after the games, and if you have a good game, he just drinks you up the whole time.
Yeah.
And then and then it was just really cool when he offered to help anyone out during these times. So it's a really nice community. It reminds me a lot like when I was back in Kamloops too. You know, like people always supporting each other, which is great.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. If I was to ever move, if I ever got a job in another city, or like, say, just for instance, I got shipped to Calgary or New York City or Los Angeles or something, the first thing I would do is look up the local rugby scene. And even if you're there for a couple weeks, like we've had people come to our practices, not even want to play on our team, and they just come for the run around, right?
Totally. Yeah, instant friends.
Yeah, and you don't really see that. And then what makes you better friend than, you know, getting a broken nose and cutting your eye up and digging deep for 80 minutes, right? That's instant friendship.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, so it was great to see you guys when you all came down, and that was that game was intense, and I was hurting for probably a week afterwards.
Yeah, no, that was a definite good one. We came on the bad side, so we were kind of 1-1 against each other, so I was really looking forward to that grudge match. We were probably going to have maybe playoffs or something. Yeah,
it's too bad that it's the right call, but it's too bad the season got called for all of it that's going on. But yeah, so we were about to play Langley at home, and we were rocking, man. We were rocking with confidence, like we were stoked.
Yeah.
And then literally it was that week, and then but so I don't know how they're going to do it, but I guess maybe like the teams just get placed in whatever place they're in, and that's kind of like considered the winner of the league, or if you just don't even really consider a winner because it's kind of feels false because there's no playoffs, you know?
Well, it is false because there isn't playoffs, but who is in first place? Probably Langley or Squamish.
Langley, and then and then Scribes is in second.
Yeah.
And then Axeman, then you guys.
Yeah, and so those are four teams that, I mean, whatever way the wind blows, the other team could win kind of thing.
Totally. Day of kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, so definite bummer. And I was talking to Coach on a podcast a week or so ago, and he said they were just giving out the trophy to whoever's in first place.
They were or they were not?
They were. So if Langley's in first place, they're going to give them the trophy.
Oh.
And it's like, you can't just, fuck that.
I mean, what are the other options? You just
vacate the year. You just vacate it.
Yeah, so you just make it you just omit it.
Yeah, exactly.
From the record.
Exactly what you do.
Interesting. Or you just try and I don't know even if you'd be able to host the playoffs at a different point in the year even, but you think we're going to be able to play in the fall?
That's kind of the big question. I mean, I'm hoping so. But I have, you know what, I've kind of done some predictions on how much I've looked up a lot of predictions online from 10 or 15 different doctors who are all predicting when it's going to spike and when there's going to be a secondary spike, and everyone is different from the last. So they're guessing. These high end doctors are all guessing. So I wouldn't even be able to guess.
Yeah, crazy. Well, hopefully it won't affect it too much. But.
Yeah, because right now rugby's down. Baseball was just supposed to start for me. Lacrosse is just supposed to start for me. So everything's kind of in limbo. So I don't know. Just trying to exercise and whatnot. But is Vancouver pretty shut down right now?
Yeah. So I mean, like, I live in the West End right now.
Yeah.
And you can't. The only places you can get food are sushi places. Strangely enough. There, like, some places are still open for like takeout food and stuff like that. Some places are offering discounts for takeout food, which is cool. But otherwise, like, all the Starbucks, all the like coffee places are all shut down. All the pubs, all the bars, you can't go out and have a pint anywhere. Liquor stores are still open. Groceries are still open. So people are still like, I don't know. The Vancouver city hasn't issued a warning. Like, they've only issued like keep 2 meters away from everyone, like on the seawall and stuff like that. But there's no one really enforcing anything. So if it's a nice day out, there's tons of people still outside and like running on the seawall and walking on the seawall and all that stuff. So
if you're out there running or on a bike, I mean, your chances of contagion are pretty low, I would have to guess.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? You run through someone's like 3-second-old sneeze cloud or something, and like.
Well, I guess, but you got to take your chances at some point, maybe.
Yeah. I'm on the same boat as you. It's like, I don't know. It's. I've been isolating myself. Like, I've been just like not doing anything. I've been staying in most of the time, other than going outside to like run twice a week.
Yeah.
So I just ran yesterday, and then I just do home workouts. So, and I'm working from home too. So it's like, I don't know. It's like full spectrum, man. You gotta really reinvent, like things to do for fun, and like other things fill in those gaps, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, the not playing sports is a definite dip in my life, but everything else, I've kind of gotten to a nice little groove here. I'm making these podcasts that nobody listens to, and just I've been playing video games that where you can link up with friends. Just you put on the headset, so you're still BSing with your friends and laughing and competing together. And then we've been doing some FaceTimes and like group chats and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just trying to exercise. KRC's going Division 1 next year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Coach broke that news on my podcast, actually.
Whoa.
So. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy, eh?
It's very crazy because we got kind of an aging population don't have a huge number of young guys coming up. So everybody's going to have to get like in as good a shape as they can, and could be pretty crazy.
That's intense, eh? Oh man, when's the last time KRC was first div? 2011, 12?
Yeah, maybe. Not since I've been back playing for 5 or 6 years.
It was back when the last first div season was out at the Rayleigh Fields.
Yeah.
And that was still when Sambo, I think, still played even.
Yeah, so Coach is going to have us all on, like, not only going to practice a couple times a week, I'm sure we're going to be doing other training a couple times a week. And if you want to play Division Rugby, it's more of a, hey, I'm a competitive rugby player now, instead of just, hey, I play rugby and drink beer with my friends.
Yeah, and also, too, because of the way the schedule always works out with the seasons, you don't want to be a team that's bottom of the ladder and then having to go down to fucking Vancouver 6 games in a row. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that would just be too. That's just too demoralizing.
Yeah, and then we're going to try and have a third division team as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what Lomas does, or not Lomas. I think Langley tried that this year. Or no, sorry, they had a first div team last year, then they went second and third this year as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lomas does prems and prem reserves, right?
Right. There's
And
going to be no prem reserve.
Right.
So I think prem reserve teams are just going to play in Division 1.
Yeah, that's the idea, I guess, right? Oh, crazy.
Yeah, so it's going to be... Hopefully it all shapes up, man, because I'm very excited to get back out there and smashing people, because all this downtime is just...
Yeah, what do you reckon you need for body count for 2 teams, other than just like 30?
Well, if you travel to the same place, you can get away with 30, because then maybe 1 or 2 people can play a couple minutes at the end of the third division game, and then as many third division players are still healthy can sub into the first division game. So 30 could kind of work, maybe, if you're going to the same place. But realistically, you want to have probably bare minimum 4 subs each, so 38. I would suggest.
Yeah. I'm thinking because I'd say 45 for me, because that was like a conversation around the club I'm playing at right now too. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, like we've got so many players at practice, like we should have 2 teams. But it's really hard, because what you'll notice, and I don't from my experience of Kamloops, it wasn't necessarily like this. You know, guys were pretty much committed every single weekend of the season. But at our club, like some of our best players will just like randomly take off, like 2 weeks or something, you know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of variability when it comes to the amount of players that we have available for game days.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if that's something Kamloops is going to be experiencing, but that's crazy, man. It's going to be intense.
Yeah, it'll be very intense. And no, the same thing happens where a lot of players do. I mean, it's a blue collar thing. A lot of people are working, jobs as policemen or as mine workers, or, a lot of some people work up north on the oil rigs. So, I mean, it's kind of, you got to look out for yourself. So sometimes you can't make it because you're working or whatever, and that has to be understandable.
Yeah, totally.
But how many of those people are away on a weekend before it becomes we can't have can't host 2 teams kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, like that's I feel like that was always the goal when Derek came into the club, when he took over as coaching. Like that was his long-term goal, was to get it into first div. Yeah. And he's done such an amazing job building the seconds team back to prominence, and then adding that third team is a great way to get more people even involved at the club.
Yeah, when he first started and you were still around, it was straight up just Division 3. So he started as Division 3, climbed the ranks through Division 3, climbed the ranks through Division 2, and now we're going Division 1. So we've come a long way.
Hell yeah. It's good, man. It's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, hopefully I get to play rugby again at some point in my life anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if the summer leagues have been canceled yet or not. But
yeah, I haven't heard anything about Stampede. You should come check out Stampede if it's... you know what, man? Early July. I mean, I'd have to think it's probably not going to be back to go time in early July.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, well...
The Prime Minister said we should expect to do this until at least June. Like this, all these behaviors and stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. We'll have to play it out and get in as good a shape as we can get in the meantime, I guess.
Yeah, stay healthy in mind and body.
Yeah, and if you do unfortunately ever get sick, I think the better shape you're in, probably helps you fight it off as well.
Totally. Yeah, man. It's gnarly.
Yeah, she gets pretty crazy out there. All right, dude. Well, we should do this again sometime. I'll wrap it up right there. We're sitting in an hour with... I had Wolfie on right before you. So
Nice.
so any more than an hour, and it kind of gets the upload onto YouTube and stuff takes a while. But
Yeah, fair enough, man. I just want to say I love your intro to the podcast.
that little rap song I'm doing.
Yeah, I fucking laughed. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, just wait till I come up with the whole album,
That'd be awesome.
the whole rap album.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
All right, man. Well, appreciate it. Thanks for your time, and I don't know. Let's do this again in a couple weeks, maybe.
Yeah, let me know when you're interested. I'll be there for you for sure.
Yeah, we'll keep you. You're going to be our man on the street, man on the beat of Vancouver.
Sounds good, dude.
All right, thanks, dude.
Okay, catch you later.
Yeah, later.
Bye.
All right, well, that was Shayne. Thanks for stopping by, Shayne. Thanks for stopping by. Jordan, stick around, and guess what? We're going to microwave some stuff. Got a special guest coming to microwave stuff. Steve Maloche is supposed to be coming by. We'll see. And hopefully make something blow up, start some fire. All right, so my buddy Steve just showed up. He's bringing some lithium polymer batteries over, and we're going to run outside and throw them in the microwave. So stay tuned, and we'll microwave some 3-cell lithium polymer batteries. Stay tuned.
Good. All right, so first battery is not charged. Okay, not charged battery, take one. You know what? Before I get going, let's see. Let's make sure that power level is on high. Okay, already sparking a little bit.
Oh boy.
That's just the plastic kind of melting. Oh, there we go. Now, what do you think is actually in there making it spark?
Well,
Oh, it's sparking good in there, actually.
try not to breathe those fumes.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know if we're going to get much more than that, really.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You want to put it that way?
I just like watching the world burn. All right, battery take 2. I'm curious if the charge level makes a difference. I guess we'll find out, okay? Oh. Those are almost cooler plasma arcs.
Yeah.
That's arcing up like that. That's pretty wicked. we stack them or put them like that?
Yeah, we gotta do something, I
Put
think.
them beside each other.
Yeah.
I think I got a whiff of that stuff you're not supposed to whiff. I'll kind of go like that and put the exposed ends right beside each other. All right, grand finale. 2 exposed ends. Might have got the charged one and the not charged one backwards. So, kind of the same thing though, hey? So we'll put them both in there and see, maybe we can get some arcing between the two. Just instant fire. Lot of fire on the two coming from the ends there. So you guys been up to staying busy?
Yeah.
Doing workouts? Love that comment.
Just about.
Yeah. I biked up Juniper Hill yesterday.
What's that?
First time I've been making it a tiny. There's light poles, and I'm making one light pole further.
Nice.
And then this time I was like, okay, I'm more than halfway through. Don't. I made it all the way to the round road.
Yeah, have you killed any yet?
Killed any microwaves?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Seriously?
Yeah.
We'll do it again, right?
All right, that's microwave and stuff. Special guest Steve. Thanks for coming over, Steve. Thanks for the batteries. And had Wolfie on the show and Shayne, so should be good. Well, comment below. Let me know what I should microwave next. As you can see, I do it. I was gonna call that a day, but took the plastic off. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Yeah, it's those plastic marks that I like. It's obviously a very conductive metal, if that's what they're making batteries out of, right?
Have you microwaved regular battery?
No, just like a Duracell double A or something? No, never. I've done like a light bulb. And the light bulb blows right up.
It does?
Yeah. This is better without the plastic on.
Yeah, to get more voltage, it just stacks out and voltage out. So
Yeah.
each of those are 3 cents. Basically, it's 6 batteries.
It's awesome. Internet TV.
Should put this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is sweet.
Oh, now it's just, okay, I'm gonna get in there.
Oh, wow. That's thick.
That's just the light that's in the side.
Imagine your poor neighbors are like just sitting outside having a beer.
I want to get my own house. I used to microwave stuff on my mom's house. Just a poisonous gas. All the trees and
There's a bit of bug in my yard over here.
Man, what's up, bro?
And I love how it says enjoy your meal in the can. Enjoy your meal. A
Will do.
300-degree beer can.
Wow. Officially dead.
I'm glad we went back in and put them in.
Yeah.
Smells like a more toxic birthday cake.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to discharge them.
Yeah, how do I throw those out? I probably shouldn't just put them in the garbage.
Oh.